Okay, we're back. This is Tech Math 1. We're looking at the Red Book Chapter 3-4 review for the test. This is part 3. So number 8, we left off on number 8. We're adding fractions. This is not a walk in the park. We have to find a common denominator to add these fractions. And so the common denominator here is 2m times m minus 1. Because they don't have anything in. So the LCD, the lowest common denominator, is this times that, because they're relatively prime. So that means I'm going to write that down twice. And now I look back up there and go, okay, I want to make this into a 2m times m minus 1. So it's missing something. Well, it's missing an m minus 1. And so 3m minus 3 for that. This one is missing a 2m. So I multiply top and bottom by 2m. And I get that 2m m minus 1 that I wanted on the bottom. On the top, I get 2m squared. And then I just write it all under the same roof here. 2m minus 1 on the bottom, and then 2m squared plus 3m minus 3. And you cannot factor the top. If you try, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and there isn't anything that multiplies to be negative 6 that adds up to be 3. All right, this one looks harder than it is. Whenever they have the variable backwards, they're up to no good. So rewrite it, negative y plus 3. And I always make this like plus a negative 2. And now look, y minus 3 here, negative y plus 3 there. Well, that means I have a common denominator. If I make my common denominator y minus 3, I can get them both to be y minus 3. This one is a y minus 3 already. This one, I just have to multiply top and bottom by negative 1. So I distribute that. I get that y minus 3 that I wanted. So I have common denominator, and then negative 1 times negative 2 is 2. And so I'm basically done. Y minus 3 on the bottom and y plus 2 on the top. Do not do anything silly like trying to cancel the y's and telling me this is negative 2/3. You can never cancel things that are being added or subtracted. You might want to keep the parentheses on them so you remember that. Just to remind yourself, the only way y plus 2 goes away is if there's another y plus 2 being multiplied on the bottom. All right? You can't cancel things that are being added or subtracted ever. That's a steadfast rule. Same with this. This is 2m squared plus 3m minus 3. And people write that down and they're like, oh no, I can cancel the 2's, I can cancel the m's. No, you can't, because that's not being multiplied. This would have to be factored, and if there was a 2m outside, then you could cancel it, but it isn't, and so you can't. All right? So warning about that. That's a very common error. Let's see. All right, so number 9. These are some pretty intense problems here. So number 9, we are going to cross multiply and solve algebraically. So we haven't done that for a while. I hope the rust can get and wear that rust out here. X plus 3 equals x plus 2 x minus 4. So we are going to cross multiply and solve. So x plus 3 times quantity x plus 2 equals x minus 1 times quantity x minus 4. And now we do the distributive property twice. X squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6. X squared minus 4x minus 1x plus 4. And we combine up like terms. Okay, and now let's get everything over to one side, see what shakes out. So we get negative 1x squared, negative 1x squared. Well, look at what happened there. Gone and gone. And now it became a lot easier. 5x plus 6 equals negative 5x plus 4. Be careful. Be careful. Don't let your brain trick you out of the right answer, because it almost did for me here. Plus 5x So I'm getting rid of that 5x, I'm moving it across, and now we got 10x. Plus 6 equals 4. And now right here, people see that 10, and they go, oh, 6 and 4 is 10, so it's 1, x equals 1. Nope, incorrect. That's why I like you to show your work, or think, I had a student say, no, I move it across and then change it to a -6. That's fine, you're doing the exact same thing. So there it went away. We have 10x equals -2. That is not 10. 4 and -6 is -2. And then we divide by 10 and then reduce the fraction (2/10). So x is equal to (2/10). We divide top and bottom by 2. X is equal to (1/5). There's our answer. I've had students get all of this part right, and then they get right down to here and they mess it up because they say, oh, it's 10x equals 10, x equals 1. Because they skipped steps, they tried to do it in their head. So write out your work when you're doing these problems. I don't want you to trip at the finish line. All right. And then let's look at, oh, geez, it's really scribbled up on the key there. Sorry about that. I don't think I noticed there was an equal sign. That was an equation. When we have equations, we multiply by the LCD to kill the fractions. We don't work with the LCDs. And I was working with the LCD, and I abandoned that ship. That's why all the scribble marks there. Equals 1 over y plus 1. All right, so now look, we've got y minus 2, that's just y minus 2. That's on the bottom. This y squared minus y minus 2, that factors into y minus 2, y plus 1. Multiplies to be -2, adds up to be -1. And then y plus 1. It's just y plus 1. And so when you're finding the LCD, you take what they have in common and you take any leftovers. So y plus 1 and y minus 2, those are both common. And there are no leftovers. Everything's accounted for. So that is my LCD. So I'm going to rewrite these so it looks a little more user-friendly. Plus 2y. I think that's where I made my mistake when I was doing the work before. I was doing this, and I accidentally put a plus there instead of equals. All right, so now, I don't want to find common denominators and add them up or anything like that. What I want to do is multiply every term by the LCD because it's an equation. So I don't have to do all that, find the common denominator and use it. I find the common denominator to wipe out the fractions on the bottom. Okay, and so here goes. The y minus 2's cancel. I get 3 times y plus 1. The y minus 2's and the y plus 1's cancel. I just get 2y. Y plus 1's cancel, I get y minus 2. And now, again, I do the distributive property, 3y plus 3 plus 2y equals 1y minus 2. I combine like terms, that is 5y plus 3 equals 1y minus 2. And now I move the 1y over to this side, we get 4y plus 3 equals -2. Again, be careful, minus 3. I get 4y equals -5, and then I divide by 4. For my final answer, y equals -5/4. If you want to be fancy and write -1 and 1/4, you may, but you don't have to. You can just do it -5/4. All right, so that's what the test is gonna look like. Be prepared.